can't. I can't. Folks, if you're wondering why we're laughing, trust me, it's going to make sense in a minute. Let's get to that UFL, folks.
We're going off Corona. Nobody move. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to use Turbo to try to get him to jump. Turbo, sit on!
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 97.
Well, yeah. We ain't going. Look at the scoreboard. You too. How do you take number one but suck? How do you take number one but suck? How the take number one but suck?
Okay, girls, everyone knows a beaver's favorite food is wood. I just hope we brought along enough of it for our 3-day galactic space journey. So let's do the math. If Robin's beaver devours 6 inches of wood every half hour, and Jessica's beaver devours 8 inches of wood every 45 minutes, how much wood will I need to keep both of these beavers well fed all weekend long?
I didn't think you had it in you.
I'm your huckleberry. Why, Johnny Ringo, like somebody just walked over your grave.
Fight's not with you, Holiday.
I beg to differ, sir. We started a game we never got to finish. Play for blood, remember?
I was just fooling about.
I wasn't, and this time it's legal.
All right, Lunger. Let's do it. Say when.
Come on!
You're no Daisy.
Good old Daisy at all.
Poor soul. You were just too high-strung.
Yeah. What? What? Dre, you ready? Come on. Alright. Check. Cut him undercover. Timeless. Ready for progress. Feeling like I'm just getting started. 2 shots back from my dearly departed. You are now dealing with a monster. Oh shit. Profits. Doctrine, bitch, I'm a prophet. Black Wall Street, niggas know what a stock is. Like a satanic cult, it's an old ritual slaughtering goats, bitch. You're fucking with the original flow, sick, and anybody can get it. COVID. Fuck with that. I don't roll shit that was so sharp I can slip a bone fucking throat with it. So rich, I got more chips than my shoulders, and I'm about as approachable as a roach is. Just so better steer clear from it. Here comes a nuclear bomb for your eardrums. Lyricism in its most fearsome and fierce. We're all another tear like a tear ducts. Papa echelon, your career sucking. It was sheer luck, like a fucking leprechaun with his beard cut. With a Punisher, weapon drawn with a beer gut. He's slower than a Decepticon with his gear stuck. And like what? I serial killing your Kellogg's. I love checks and I hate tricks. And you're a fake bitch. I can spot you like you about to weight lift. Bitch, I'm better than cake mix. And I can't be whipped with egg beaters. You cunts must be out of your labius. And God's my alias. So if I don't have faith in me, then it basically makes me an atheist.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say about what the hell we came on with, but Joe, you had some things you wanted to see, you wanted to share with me, and I'm gonna just let you just entertain the audience. So by all means, lay it on them. You're mute. You're muted.
And I'm unmuted.
And there we go.
Well, I have to remember with this headset, even if I don't mute, I put this up, it'll mute me.
Right.
But it was a strange week on the Joe Quill show.
That's one way to put it.
Because I did not have one story this week. I didn't have 2 stories this week. I had 3 college baseball stories, which fell into this random segment of my show that
tomfoolery, dipshittery. I mean, let's call it what it was, because I mean, you read a couple of them to me, and I'm just like, oh no. We have to sit here and do a version of stupid stories. So, in honor of KBPI, stupid stories, courtesies of our buddy Joe Quills. Joe,
now, I have this story. I have this segment that I don't have all the time because I don't want to be pulling a story and having to look for something. Like I let the stories find me, and I found 3 of them this week. 2 over the weekend, and 1 which I found in a random YouTube, random Facebook reel today. So I researched it a little bit. I was like, oh, let me look, and yeah, it's weird. So, story number 1. Let's go to College Station, Texas.
Oh Lord, here we go.
We had an SEC Sunday matchup between Texas A&M and the University of Kentucky. Now, University of Texas A&M, they had a bad season so far. They were ranked number 1 in the country at the beginning of the year. They're 13-14 as of Sunday after their loss.
Makes sense.
So, are you a soccer fan at all?
I am.
You know what teams do when they're ahead and they're trying to wipe out that last couple of minutes of the clock?
I do.
The team that's in the lead likes to stall. The goalie stalls. They don't put the ball back in play. Stuff like that.
Of course.
Now, baseball has the pitch clock, but you also have that transmitter thing for pitching. So Texas A&M decided, because the SEC has a Sunday curfew rule where a new inning cannot start at 4:30 p.m. local time, to allow the student athletes to get back to campus so they can get their asses into school the next day.
How, how are they? uh, Okay, the first question I have is: last time I checked, Texas and Kentucky were very huge, massive miles apart from each other. So
Mhm.
how the fuck is that supposed to work? In which you have this rule, but yet you have Texas A&M, who happens to literally be in Texas, against Kentucky
I'm
in
sorry.
Texas.
Kentucky was stalling, not Texas A&M. I'm sorry,
Gotcha.
but
But
still,
still,
you still have a team stalling. And the one thing that they will do, even in Major League Baseball, if you're going to have a pitch clock violation, you complain it's the transmitter. So that's one of the things that Kentucky did, because they didn't want to play that 9th inning. But but also with the traveling, you go from west to east. Traveling by plane from west to east is quicker than going east to west because of the whole jet stream thing. So,
of course.
but Texas is a new member to the SEC. So Kentucky's baseball team took advantage of the curfew rule in a 10-5 win over Texas A&M on Sunday, which led to all kinds of arguing. And they we could have had a post-game brawl, but we didn't. They actually shook hands. It was probably shaking hands saying, "Oh, fuck you, buddy," something like that. But the Wildcats appeared to have a problem with the communication device that the pitchers and catchers use while they
Okay,
were pitching with 2 outs in the 8th inning, because it was like 4:28 p.m. when it was 2 outs and the next batter came up.
of course.
So if they finished the early inning too soon, they would have to play that 9th inning. So SEC rules do not allow a new inning to start after 4:30 p.m. when a series ends on a Sunday, giving the road team more travel time so that students are in better position to attend classes the next day. Who knew kids in the SEC went to class, or student athletes went to class?
I don't usually
Well,
remember
other
classes,
than
but
Vanderbilt,
yeah.
but Aggies manager Michael Early viewed the moves as gamesmanship and began shouting at Kentucky manager Mick Mingione, who responded at yelling and making gestures back. Wildcats went on to seal the victory, avoiding a 9th inning that potentially would have given Texas A&M another chance to come back. Now, Kentucky did win 2 of the 3 games of the series. Texas A&M dropped to 13-14 in what has been a disappointing season.
How the how, I always want to know how disappointing it pretty much is.
Well, they were ranked number Texas A&M was ranked number one in the country in the preseason by D1baseball.com.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty well. I mean, they couldn't be that bad right now, right?
Well, when you have expectations of a championship, and trust me, being in Philadelphia, we usually have those high expectations. Look at the 2024 Phillies, flush.
The reigning defending champion Eagles, if anything else. And okay, I could see it. Okay, I can see it.
Yeah. So that was one weird story that came up. And, I played the video on my show, and you had 3 minutes of the coaches, at least 3 minutes edited of the coaches yelling back and forth at each other and things like that. So you did have that. So then this was a game last weekend, and it was probably the shortest game in Conference USA history because Liberty University, the Liberty Bibbities, had to forfeit because one of their pitchers was not on the 27-man roster for that weekend series.
What? Well, people get hurt or and things like that. It's like people get hurt that players like get pulled for reasons unbeknownst to us, except for them.
Well,
No,
it was ruled as the manager, head coach, whatever the correct title is for a manager in college baseball. They did say it was a clerical error, but here's what happened. Liberty is playing at Jacksonville State in Jacksonville, Alabama.
okay.
So Liberty hits at the top of the first inning, and the thing is, a lot of these, and even when I looked at like the different articles that were posted on Facebook, X, everywhere else, they were saying, "Oh, that's poor sportsmanship that he made him throw a pitch that said timeout. He's not on the roster. He's got to leave." So me, if I was a baseball manager and something like that, that's exactly what you want to do because guess what? If you're the other manager and you realize your error, you can flip pitchers real quick, even if you want to say, oh, he hurt his arm, or you tell them, hey, you're not on the roster, fake an injury so that we can get a reliever in here to pitch one inning. The openers that they use in baseball now, you know, let's use that opener for an inning, and then we'll get another guy in here and pitch 4 or 5 innings or whatever. But he didn't realize the error until it became part of the umpires. So Liberty were slated to play Jacksonville State in a 3-game series, including a loss they were forced to forfeit because they did not include Ben Blair, their pitcher, on the 27-man roster because they submit the rosters before every series. The Flames roster was without Ben Blair, who was scheduled to start in Game 2, and the Jacksonville State manager took notice. Okay, so it is so the head coach is a manager in baseball there, in college baseball too. So he waited for Blair to step on the mound and throw his first pitch in the game before alerting the umpires in Saturday's first game, figuring the sophomore hurler would be removed from the game or there would be a forfeit. So he's thinking the way I'm thinking, where if the manager catches it, then you get into this gray area and you're on the phone with the conference office for even more than what they were over this incident. So it ended up being a forfeit. Conference USA has a rule that states a team has to forfeit if it's utilized an ineligible player in a game. And Liberty waved the white flag and lost 9-0 because you play a 9-inning game. That's what the score would be. So, of course, some people were saying it's super unclassy by Jacksonville State to wait till after the first pitch. That's not sportsmanship. No, that's making sure you have something in
Kind
there.
of isn't. I mean,
Yeah.
you wait till the first pitch before you decide you want to clutch your
Mhm.
pearls.
Mhm.
You want to wait till the first pitch before you decide you want to clutch your pearls. Be like, no, we didn't. No, we didn't agree to this, bruh. Get out of here with that.
I
That's
mean,
BS.
and the thing is, you could have a guy here. He blows out his elbow warming up it before the game, and now you're trying to figure out what to do. Oh, by the way, he's not on the roster, so something like that. But um, another person wrote, "I'm really embarrassed by this Bush League move." Um, another one said, "Liberty should not have had an advantage using a 28th man." Blah blah blah. But
Did
yeah,
it help win
they said
though?
it was.
Is I guess the question is like, did it at least there and help these guys win? Or I mean, if they didn't win, what the hell does it matter?
Well, it wasn't done on purpose. It was a clerical error on the manager's part for the Liberty Bibbities. But
Folks, this is how stupid some sports
so
stories is, and it
so
has
what
to be
they
said.
so what they did was the umpire the umpires they pulled out the rosters for the series. They saw
Right.
his name wasn't on there. They took the ball from him. He went off the field. Okay, no argument there. So they're conferring with what to do. And I said that maybe these guys weren't Conference USA umpires. Maybe they're just umpires that work that region of the country, so they may not know all the rules of Conference USA. So they called the Conference USA headquarters. They were on the phone for like 20 minutes with the office. Then there must be a rule book that's somewhere in that stadium. They pull out this binder with the rule book and they find the rule and they say, game over, Jacksonville State wins.
That's got to be the cheesiest way to sit here and win a game, in my opinion. But then again, we've seen some cheesy ways to win a game, which is a good segue because we did have UFL action the despite the potential of a strike possibly coming down the pike. At least up to this point, we have not heard anything yet, but we are still keeping our feet to the ground on it. We're hoping that there won't be because week one brought us some pretty good action. And I guess the biggest way I can put it is, well, the action was pretty high octane, pretty damn intense, and everybody had themselves some fun. So I guess the best way I can put this is maybe I should just start with this instead because a lot of people kind of are wondering about why the hell are we sitting here talking about this mess? Well, here's the reason why we're talking about it. It's because of the fact that we actually do have some pretty damn good football. And those who basically are NFL, blah, blah, all that good stuff, I want y'all to focus on what you're about to see. So, in honor of that, and because I am that kind of guy, take a quick look at what you missed in week one.
They hand it off again. Sailors into the end zone for the touchdown. Dives over, gets the touchdown. St. Louis scores again.
Super challenge on a conversion that ended up being the difference in the game.
And this one gives them first and goal. Manny Wilkins diving into the end zone for the touchdown. Hands it off, Jarvian Howard. What a run, nothing between him and the end zone. Can he get blockers? Howard with the big run to seal it off. 74 yards, and there they go.
Well, this linebacker right here has to be responsible for this gap that's opened up. But when he vacates, now all of a sudden you just have a huge lane right down the middle of the defense. That is a lack of gap integrity in the defensive front. And then you exploit that as an offense. If you get out of position against this St. Louis team, bang, they make you pay. That's a mark of a good team.
Henderson steps up, touchdown. Houston their first score of the night. In their full house backfield and hand it off. It's a touchdown now. Devontae Smith.
Nah, I'm proud of my brothers and sisters getting NIL, man. They're getting a lot of money. They might have to break me off a little bit, but I'm proud of them. I'm happy for them.
Break them off.
Kalen.
Speaking of breaking,
Kalen.
Kalen Ballage breaking tackles
Kalen
and
Ballage,
going
people.
all the way to the end zone for a touchdown.
Kalen Ballage.
He's a physical guy with home run ability. And watch as he breaks through the line of scrimmage and then gets to the second level, and then you're going to see some poor tackling from San Antonio. But again, it's the physicality of Ballage, 6'2", 222 pounds. And then after he gets hit, he's got the speed to take it the distance. Excellent run from Kalen Ballage. Davion.
You remember Kalen Ballage. I remember Kalen Ballage. This is what the NFL pays attention to, is these guys who were with them but haven't been signed.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the guys that are playing in this league, they get signed quick. Your NFL is paying attention. Caleb Ballage, man, just got himself an NFL contract. If he's not signed by somebody next season, I'm going to slap the piss out of every owner in the NFL, every general manager in the NFL. And yes, that even includes you, John Lynch. I'm going to go after your ass first because you're closer to me.
On Smith as well as Kalen Ballage in the backfield.
And they hand it off to Smith again, just like they did the last time in that formation. But this time, they check it and he's in. Nope, Smith cuts it back. San Antonio ready for it, but they don't stop him before he gets into the end zone. 3 for 3. Davion Smith on that play exactly. They hand it off. John Lovett gets the first down and more. In fact, he gets the touchdown.
Here's the thing that the NFL, I think the NFL is probably going to start using next season. So in the original game, when basically the Battlehawks had played the Roughnecks on Friday, I learned about they're going to start doing this kind of digital way to be able to do the first down markers. And I think the NFL is actually going to start doing that as well next season. But I like that marker mainly because of the fact that I got no problem with the chain gang. The chain gang is old school. We are in 2025, and we're still basically sitting here hoping to God that these chain gang is paying attention. But how do we know they're actually paying attention? Because these are actual human beings, and they're fallible, and they're easily distracted. Plus the very fact that they are hometown crowds. So of course they would sit here and be like, it's just a little short. It's a little short. It's a little short. It's a little short. Of course they will be that guy. Or it's the first down. Come on, give them the first down. We've seen it. So we know it's accurate. But I digress.
Stick usually indicates something to them. Fourth down, low snap. Perkins picks it up. Gonna try to run it in from there. A stiff
what?
Spins and gets in.
Wow.
What an athletic play by Bryce. Perkins, come with it.
What?
Well, love it. And this is actually almost the exact same play call as last time. There's a play here that got him the touchdown. He's supposed to play fake and then look for both tight ends, one on the stick, one on the slant. Instead, he's just doing it himself. Like, come on, get me in the end zone. We saw him go airborne on an earlier drive. I mean, Bryce Perkins is leaving it all on the field right now.
For many years, they're saying, thank God. What has taken so long?
Look at this, breaking free and straight in. Samson Nakua.
Nakua Matata. Give it up for the Nakuas. Oh my God, the Nakuas got me going. The blood is flowing there. Oh, pay homage to Puka. And Lord, I can't even with you right now. I can't even with you right now. My God. You something else, love. You something else. But I'm a Rams guy.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to be all about Puka Nacua being retiring as a Ram when he does retire. But for the fact that basically you got his brother sitting here throwing it up and getting that big touchdown, it's got to mean something, which kind of makes me wonder, how deep is this family?
So after the drama on 4th down and inches, it's a breakaway for 25 yards and a touchdown catch for Nakua. He's got one-on-one coverage. E.J. Perry looks to the right, and they get it! Touchdown! Showboats Jonathan Adams. 33-yard reception. Williams with time now.
Hey, no.
Michigan's going to close it out with
And he may go
all the way.
And the only person that could catch it was his brother. How good is
Six. Game sealer.
How is it possible that basically we only have one Nakua, one of these brothers in the NFL right now? I just saw some good hands off of Samson and some damn good hands off of Kai. How is it possible that these two are not in the NFL right now?
Well, that's what the UFL is for. It's a developmental league.
That's a big. It is, and I love the fact that the NFL is actually sitting here giving these guys some props on this one. I mean, considering the team, this is Michigan. These are guys that got arguably the best clutch kicker in the NFL in regards to that boy Jake Bates.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact is that I'll be honest, I am looking forward to these guys showing up and showing out, and it'll get any better than this, or does it? Because there's one game left on this in this nice little train. And it's the one I've been waiting for.
Back to the play. Troy Williams gets some pressure from Breland Speaks here. Not Breland Speaks, actually. It's Rondell Carter. Forces just a bad decision, right? I think he's probably trying to get that out of bounds, but not able to get enough arm to throw it over the head of his receiver. And there's a chest cam. Chest cam escort into the end zone.
Good block.
Got man coverage across the board. Here we go. Out of the backfield, complete. Marable with the first down and then some.
Bam!
Touchdowns. Stallions.
Oh, yes. Now those Stallions. Tamu!
Touchdown. Caught this time. Rolling.
I will always pay homage to Tamu. He's a former Battle Hawk. I'm going to be all about that. So, that all that basically being said on this one, let's just put this as bluntly as we can there. You just saw the touchdowns. We ain't even seen, at the beginning of the show, we saw a little bit of smack talk, a little bit of trash talking, some mind games from Luis Perez in Arlington. Who impressed you the most out of all 8 teams heading into this one, heading into week one? With week one in the books, we now know pretty much how it went down. Who impressed you the most?
The 2 teams that impressed me most,
yes,
based on what we saw there, the Battle Hawks, which I'm sure you will like, and I'm not doing that to kiss your ass.
Shit, you know me better than that.
And the other is Michigan.
I'm going to feel good about this one, and this will be the one time where even the missus is going to have to hear this one, which is why I'm opening the door. The teams that impressed me were obviously my hometown, my Battle Hawks, sitting here showing how it's done. But how about you give it up to the Arlington Renegades? Because this is a team that actually brought the state of Texas a championship, a world championship, even after everything, even before these clowns brought them a championship. And even you can smack that talk because you can talk that talk. But
think about it. In that complex in Arlington,
yep,
the Texas Rangers won a World Series.
Yep.
Arlington won. What was it? The
XFL championship, the original one.
So they both got championship trophies, and Jerry Jones hasn't gotten any glory hole.
And yet, for some reason, they just traded for Joe Milton. And my kids are two of my sons are going crazy because Joe Milton just got signed by the Cowboys. and they thought I was kidding them, but until I had to bring it to them again and again and again. So here's what it does for me, and she knows how much I hate the state of Texas with a passion because of what San Antonio sat here and did last season. But I had to give up for Arlington because Arlington, there was a big microscope on Arlington Renegades because when the first UFL season, they didn't even bother showing up. In this game against San Antonio, they played with heart, they played with pride, they played with fortitude. I cannot be mad at them for that. St. Louis obviously was a big one because they were the first game of the year. Everybody had this big hype around Houston. The fact that they were doing the stupid music intro for St. Louis when they came out, and Houston was playing like that intro. I remember what the music's called. It was like that right there was motivation. And when I say motivation, and I say this at all, everything in me, I say it was motivation.
And you know what? I love that. Man, everybody's happy. Everybody's involved. We're helping each other. We're lifting each other up. That's a team. Teams win championships. All right? Now, if we get into this week, this is over. We got 10 days. We got a big opponent coming up, okay, next Sunday. We got to lock in. All right, but, man, I'm proud of you guys. Okay, we got a safe drive home. But I'll just say, man, you guys came out, laid it on the line today, man. Enjoy this. Okay, we're gonna have 2 days off. Okay, 2 days off. Sleep in tomorrow. Coaches don't even come in the office tomorrow. Work on Sunday. Hey, championship game #1. Did we win? Yeah. Break it down, Jason.
Hey, good today, boys. Enjoy this. Let's run this back next week, baby. Hey, battle 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Hawks. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I interrupt everybody?
Well, Joel and Kurt just talking about your culture, Coach. 39 carries, 276 yards rushing.
Yeah, really proud of my team. We talked.
The ground game for the Battlehawks was probably the biggest reason why I feel good about it. And OG, I'm going to let you get your little 49ers mess in because I know you're going to have them in. And I just want you to bear in mind, you have two guys who basically know what a championship ring looks like in this century. That guy who just won the Super Bowl, and this guy who had won a Super Bowl, a World Series, and a Stanley Cup. So, I mean, go ahead and get it all out. Look at that. See that right there? That's what we do.
Well, this is actually the NFC Championship towel. I don't know what I did with the Super Bowl one. Oh, wait. Wait, I found it. There you go.
I figured it was coming. Show it. Go ahead, show it. There it's right there.
There you go.
So, if you're basically talking about you're the GOAT, you're going to have to do a little bit better. But I'm going to be honest. When the Saquon signing happened, that was one of those, no. Joe, I got you on this one. That was pretty much this right here.
Mm-hmm.
That was the best way to put it to everybody in the league. No question about it. But we ain't talking about them tonight. Tonight, we own that UFL, and you saw it. I'm trying to basically get to the biggest thing on here, but I did show the Bellhawks. Now, I had to show Bob Stoops because I have respect for Bob Stoops, and you obviously have respect for Bob Stoops.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Stoops even gave a speech after the Renegades sat here and had a big, huge Week 1 victory, and you know what? We're throwing it in there now.
Tell you what, that's a hell of a job. Great way to start. Give yourself a hand. Hell yeah. I mean, every part of the game was really strong. That's how you want to play. Feels good to come in after all that work and play good, doesn't it?
Hell yeah.
All right, well, there's no reason we can't keep doing that. And I'm not I'll be negative tomorrow, but how many dang procedures do we have to have? Right?
Yeah.
We got to clean it up, right? Otherwise, it's going to get us.
Yes, sir.
And we were strong enough in what we did today to be able to overcome some of those penalties, but that can't keep happening. All right, but really, really excited the way you played. Let's hear it for Davion with 3.
Davion Smith. I'm gonna be honest. Davion Smith impressed me. If there was ever a time for basically me as a Bauhaus fan to be like worried, Davion Smith basically went on a beast mode, and San Antonio is no slouch. So I as a part of me is like, I don't know how I want to feel about that one. But the victors go to spoils, right?
Yep.
I'm kind of curious on what Michigan has to say about their Nakua tag team.
Oh, we're in Memphis. We're back to Dallas.
Clemson!
Take me home because I'm a Michigan Panther, baby. That's what we do.
ACT! ACT!
Oh. This was the biggest one. So, Birmingham, and I'm going to base this off of the next 3 clips are basically based off of DC and Birmingham. Birmingham basically came into this damn game basically with this swagger about themselves, this gritty about themselves of how they basically were untouchable, they were unbeatable because they had shut out the Brahmas in the UFL championship game and won it on St. Louis soil. This was one of those times of where maybe, let's just be nice about it. Birmingham should have shut up.
ACT! ACT! 16! You gonna miss this? You gonna miss this? Lava!
Spoiler alert, he didn't miss it. But they got better. Because if you've ever seen a DC game, you know what DC games are about. DC games are all about, not about the team, not about even the coach. Their coach, they had literally lost 24 hours prior to kickoff. Reggie Barlow took another job as right before this game, and was gone. So for DC to do what they just did on Sunday against the defending champs was big. However, the biggest thing, if you've ever seen it, I'm going to show it. Hey, homage to the beer snake.
There's only one beer snake like this. And so it's what we got from the UFL. We're competing with all the other leagues. And look at these guys. I mean, look at this. Make some noise.
It's the fucking game!
And I preface this for this specific reason, because the Stallions pretty much were on paper the most dominant, dangerous team in the UFL. They pretty much owned the USFL through the last stretch of their existence. When they got brought over, that was the biggest thing, was that they wanted to bring them in. However, there is one thing that basically set them apart from everybody, and that's they're vulnerable. They can be beat. They even lost, I believe they lost 2 coordinators heading into this season. One of their coordinators actually sat here is now coordinator with St. Louis, and the other one, I believe, sat here is back as coordinator for a team in college. But Skip Holtz, I'm not going to knock the Holtz family. I want to, but I'm not going to. The Holtz family has this thing. Skip Holtz has been the god when it comes to Alabama. The only it's like DC has the bear snake. The Bellhawks have basically cause law. That's what it is there. Michigan has basically Panther Country. And of course, the Renegades have basically they them boys. And I'm not making this up. they actually call themselves them boys. Even in the faces of Cowboys fans, they call themselves them boys. That should tell you a lot about it. But the biggest thing with Birmingham is that they have these, and I ever feel bad about this because it makes me think about Welcome Back, Connor. They have the Sweat Hogs, which bugs me because it's the Sweat Hogs. Anybody who's ever watched Welcome Back, Connor, and yes, I'm gonna expose my age. I loved that show, and I loved the Sweat Hogs. Travolta basically leading that crew. One of my favorite shows. I really wish they had that stuff on Pluto TV just for my sake. But the biggest thing for me when I'm sitting here, I'm looking at this whole scenario. You've already said that basically, obviously, the Battlehawks and the Panthers were basically your two favorites. I said the Battlehawks and the Renegades. It's no bad things because they all did exactly what needs to be come out to get done. Especially first game of the new season. There's a lot of questions on if the new season is going to continue to happen, and they're not even thinking about it. They're just going out there to do their job and put in that work. But you know who Birmingham is. And tragically, I don't know anybody who actually likes Birmingham, well, other than 49ers fans, because they just like anything that looks popular. Yeah, I'm that guy. I'm that guy, OG. I'm sorry. I'm going to give you hell for it. But what are your thoughts? Now, we're not going with basically like who's your favorite team, but what are your thoughts after week one, after seeing what's happened, after seeing the domination or the fortitude of these guys who are basically just trying to basically just knock on the NFL and just go, yeah, I'm missing something. Like, give us that contract.
I mean,
these guys are going to second chances. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this is what the league is for. It's to get these guys some eyes on them, get some video out there to get them back into the pros or to the NFL, if whether it's a first time or whatever. But I mean, I'm looking at this right now. Um, oops. I mean,
you're
right
good.
now,
You're good.
I just think right now you have. I mean, right now you can probably go 1, 2, 3 in some order. Battlehawks, Renegades, and Panthers is the three teams right now. But things can change week over week.
Exactly.
I mean, you never know. Um, it may be the Renegades lose their last 9 games and they end up 1-9 in the season, or the Defenders will go 1-9. Things happen like that where strange things happen. But I think right now for just the first game, we got to see which 3 teams were the most prepared for week 1. Now let's see if it's because they're that much better than those other teams, or is it just because they were just better for this week?
So with that one being said there, just to give you guys a recap from week 1, Battlehawks opened the season with a 31-6 win over the Roughnecks. Renegades opened the season with a 33-9 win over the defending XFL conference champions. The Michigan Panthers continue their winning ways as they whooped that trick in Memphis 26-12. And yes, that will become a thing. Oh wait, it already is a thing, so you ain't gotta worry about me for that. And of course, the big upset of this week, I feel, the DC Defenders defeating the reigning defending undisputed UFL champion Birmingham Stallions 18-11. And I have to get this. I gotta give DC props because again, DC was playing this thing with a whole new coach and a whole new game plan because of everything that happened. And because I had to say that, because I had to preface it that way, let me just let one of their players, let me let Derek Robertson sit here and actually explain what the hell we saw on Sunday.
I said 74, you finna have a bad film game this day. Your coach might fire you, man. They took him out and put somebody else in, and they put him in on 2 minutes. I seen like green lights like a bull when they see the red thing. I'll just go get it. So he was the weakest link. You can tell him that. Y'all good? Hey.
He ain't lying. That's the thing that gets the most is that the man ain't lying. Because I remember last season and how the Stallions just pretty much just had a flow and it just went beautiful. They pretty much didn't lose a game, I believe, until like late in the season when it didn't matter because they already were set to be. They pretty much already clinched a spot in the USFL Conference Championship game. Now we get to hear And it's just like, you know what? These guys might be something. They might be something. They might be something. Or maybe they're not. It's kind of one of those things now where I'm sitting here thinking in my head, what the hell is going to happen next? Because we've seen a lot of crazy stuff. And we're going into week 2. And the crazy part about it is that we start tomorrow night. We have the Birmingham Stallions with a chance to not go 0-2 against a team that they pretty much already know very well. This weekend, we have the rematches that we wanted. We got the USFL Conference Championship rematch with Birmingham taking on the Michigan Panthers. The Stallions against the Panthers, this time in Detroit, not in that podunk, boondock, hillbilly Jerry Springer Central Petri dish known as Birmingham, Alabama. We'll also have the Memphis Showboats taking on the DC Defenders. So we have a nice little XFL versus USFL showdown coming up. We have Houston taking on the Austin Renegades, which, if you think about it, is an XFL USFL showdown, but it's basically old school because it's another battle of Texas. You have the XFL Conference Championship rematch as the Brahmas will be taking on the Battlehawks on Sunday. We got some time to burn, and it's a Sunday nighter. Thank God my ass will be off of work when that thing goes down because it's going to be good and it's going to be sweet. Too sweet. But we got the big news. And this got brought up by UFL Commissioner Danny Garcia on Friday, who pretty much is running this show because Dwayne's a little preoccupied with WrestleMania. But this got brought up. This actually got brought up. She mentioned the word that everybody's been waiting to hear, and that's expansion. And there have been people that are a little further up north from me who's been wanting that word because, shockingly enough, while they show their loyalty to the Seahawks, they loved those Dragons, especially with the fact that this is the same Dragons team that almost went to the XFL championship game a few years ago.
Yep.
And this is also a Dragons team that basically knows for a fact they have unfinished business with my boys, my city, my town, my fan base, the Battlehawks, and they know they got some unfinished business with them. And it was still fun. But I know that you guys had yourself a USFL team too.
Yep.
And what was it? The Philadelphia Union, I believe, versus the
Stars.
Union? Is that
Stars?
Stars? Because I know y'all got the Union. I think that's like soccer, right?
Union soccer, yeah.
Okay, so Union's the soccer, Stars is USFL, and then the Soul is the arena team who won like multiple arena football championships. I think they're the Birmingham Stallions of Arena League, in my opinion, but I digress. My biggest thing when I look at this, would you be about having Philly come up as that next team? Because I know they want to get at least two more teams heading into next season. And I know Seattle is the front runner. Philly might be, because I'd rather see them than I believe it's the Pittsburgh Maulers.
Yeah.
I'd rather see Philly than Schittsburg because, quite frankly, that city is a clusterfuck, and that's just me saying this. You can tell them I don't care. They will probably start like a bar fight with me next time I actually come to Pennsylvania, which will probably be in like 2026, just foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like in this very instance, when I look at how big, how bad, how crazy. I mean, because Philly was one of those teams that actually did hold their own with Michigan. They held their own with Birmingham. They held their own with practically Memphis. Memphis, I felt like should have not been the team that should have been picked. I felt like it should have been Philly, or it should have been one of those guys, one of those teams from the East Coast. But they kind of took, you know, they made it work with the best they got. But the fact is that you took your Houston team and you combined them with one XFL team because apparently XFL was showing more success than the USFL, at least in their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to pick a team out of the USFL or a team out of the XFL, who would you want as far as who's going to be that team that you would sit here and choose if you're thinking expansion who? Give me two teams. Give me one out of USFL and one out of the XFL that you would pick to basically get that phone call.
Let's go with Seattle. I'll go with that because they had the recent history. Now, I would think that Philadelphia would be a great spot, but the problem is, but then again, Lincoln Financial Field has the Temple University Owls, and they count attendance by the number of toes on each fan's feet as opposed to actual attendance. The question is, are the Stars gonna play at the Link? Are they gonna play at Penn? Are they going to play at the Union Stadium in Chester? The question is, where are they going to play? That's what is the difference here between Seattle and Philadelphia, because remember, Philadelphia did never played a game in their second reiteration here in Philly. Seattle did play XFL ball in Seattle in that second iteration, right? Or third iteration, the
Yeah,
latest.
Seattle played in the second reiteration, but
Yeah.
I'm almost certain yours Philly played during the COVID era, right? So
Yeah.
they didn't really
Yeah.
have many fans. They didn't have fans there at all because of that.
Mhm.
My 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 concern with pretty much the expansion is simply this: there are still people that are basically loyal to the NFL. So loyal, in fact, that they won't even sit here and give UFL even a look because it's spring, because they're still thinking about their heads. Because there are people that are probably still think of basically the AAF and how quickly they came, how much hype they had around,
Mhm.
how much hype was built around them, and then some shenanigans occurred at the end of the season and it just went to shit. The XFL, the original version, obviously was the exact same way. And people look at the XFL and they think in their heads, well, you obviously got somebody in the midst of it because you've had The Rock, you've had Dwayne Johnson, you've had him in all three facets of the XFL. The USFL, the only thing they had to basically go in their favor was the Birmingham Stallions. But now you got the Stallions, and they look beatable now. I feel like Philly, the city of Philly just celebrated a Super Bowl. They just
Yeah.
celebrated a Super Bowl championship. The Eagles have proven that underdog story. The Eagles have proven that, despite what many will sit here and say as far as Saquon and everything else. I still have all the respect that basically Saquon's work ethic because the guy sits there and shows up. I don't
Mhm.
like the picture that just posted up about him with that douchebag toolbots chain gang thought Ivanka.
Mhm.
But the fact is that the Eagles did what pretty much not many people thought they would, and myself included. They beat an unstoppable force, and the Eagles became that immovable object. Now, do I feel like Philly has a chance? Yes. I feel like Philly has the best chance out of all those ones because they happen to have the fan base that's rabid, that's bloodthirsty, that wants to win all the damn time. Philly fans are proving that. Sixers fans, hell, Joel Embiid proves that on a nightly
Mhm.
basis. You guys had a guy who was even during COVID screaming, "It's fucking brutal," if I'm not mistaken that quote. And
Mhm.
that guy is my spirit animal because he's pretty much saying the same thing I would say in the COVID era. But then you got the Eagles. They've been that blue collar team. They're the same blue collar team that sat here and gave a Stone Cold Stunner, RKO, and a pop up power bomb to Tom Brady a few years ago.
Mhm.
Philly, I feel like, is that still that working class city. I feel like Philadelphia Stars will work well because of the fact you
Yeah.
get that East Coast vibe. Because then all of a sudden New York will be like, well, what? We're not good enough? And then all of a sudden you have the New York XFL team, the New York USFL team going, we want some of this. You've got to sit
Mhm.
here. If you're basically trying to make this a big thing, yes, there needs to be more teams. You got to have it. You got to have at least 12 total to sit here and actually say, hey, we about that life. You could talk to the AAF. Talk about those franchises that basically were so close right there. Have a team in Florida. Just don't put them in Tampa Bay because Tampa's a shit show. It is.
Mhm.
As the only thing they give a damn about there is their Stanley Cups. They'll give a damn about World Series championships. They'll give a damn about Super Bowl championships. And they want to say they do, But right now at this point, I kind of gotta go. No, you guys don't.
And also remember with Tampa Bay, the Rays are this close to moving out because of everything with the stadium and everything like that. The owner wants to get out of Tampa Bay.
It's become one of those things of where if you
Yeah.
basically got a chance to actually sit here and do something big, and just because everybody's trying to wonder what the hell we're talking about, I will personally sit here and bring it up to you from our boys at the UFL News Hub who actually bring up this crazy stuff. Let me go ahead and sit here and play this for them real quick while they're sitting here talking
To
about it.
expand by 2 teams later this year, close quote. That's right. So Dave Dykman, the director of football operations for the United Football League, was recently interviewed by CT Insider, CT standing for Connecticut, a local Connecticut publication, and he talks about the current status of the UFL and its expansion plans in 2026. Dykman talks about the UFL adding 2 teams later this year. Quote, "We are in a great markets." I don't think so. And if we look at areas that we feel we can support a team and wants a team, it is something we will consider. We will be announcing later this year a 9th and 10th team for expansion in the 2026 season. Overall, we are in a great place, and I am super confident that we will be able to continue to put a great product on the field. Close quote. There it is right there. Sorry.
So, knowing that and knowing what we know now, my biggest thing is if you don't have Seattle in your crosshairs, and I'm going to tell you right now, one of my biggest supporters on YouTube actually has a podcast channel in Seattle. And he and I have been talking about doing a collaboration for ever since the UFL and ever since the UFL was XFL, USFL, even like at those times. And he was a big Sea Dragons fan. And the fact is that I want to be able to have that collaboration because I want to be there when that announcement comes down the pike. Because having Seattle on the XFL side probably would add a little more hype to it, especially if the if it starts getting stale, starts getting boring. I don't think it's going to happen because we don't have the same kind of guys that were running roughshod in the first initial inaugural season. But what we do have is a bunch of guys who actually want to be able to step up, who wants to show up, who wants to show out. You got guys who basically work 9 to 5 jobs like you and I, who literally are out there sitting here putting in that work. And I feel like Seattle would have to be the team that they had to call in from the XFL side. I feel like if I'm looking at this, the USFL has to at least look at they got to look at Philly. And tragically they have to look at Pittsburgh. And if they got to look at a New York team, look at a New York team. I don't. It kind of doesn't matter at this moment because the biggest thing is who was the biggest threat to the Birmingham Stallions in that final USFL season during that COVID era when the USFL was trying to keep itself up and running. It's going to have to be that. Right now, at this point, the XFL has Birmingham's number, and now it has to be to that point of who's going to actually put the most stank on whatever finisher they decide to apply to the Birmingham Stallions, because that's the team.
Yeah.
That's the team to beat out of the USFL altogether. They did a great job with Michigan last year. We've managed to see ourselves a bunch of great players out of the USFL and out of the XFL. So the biggest thing I'm going to have in my head, who's going to basically step up to the plate? Because that's what's going to come down to. I want to see Philly in this one. I want to see the Philadelphia Stars there because I believe they actually had themselves a pretty decent ass quarterback who they had a pretty decent ass football team.
Yeah.
So
now I did see the article of announcing the latest for potential NFL expansion through pfnewsroom.com.
Yeah.
Now they're saying a situation close to them, a source close to them, are telling them that there may be conflicts at Lumen Field that may get in the way of a 2026 season in Seattle. So that's the World Cup next year. So that may play a part in that. Now, what they are suggesting right now for other expansion cities right now, and they don't mention Philadelphia, and this is just speculative from what I've scanned here.
Of course.
Other expansion cities include Columbus and Raleigh. Now, Columbus, remember how I said with Philadelphia you would have that natural rivalry with DC?
Yeah.
Well, if you play in Columbus, you have that Ohio State Michigan rivalry replicated into the UFL because they're so close, and the college rivalry transform it into the UFL.
And quite frankly, Columbus and Ann Arbor, Michigan fans and Ohio fans pretty much don't like each
Mhm.
other just
Mhm.
pretty much out of spite. Like, I can be honest. Basically, this is Columbus, Ohio State, Ohio and Michigan are like literally the epitome of Philly and Dallas fans. I don't see these
Mhm.
two actually getting along. It's like that ESPN commercial they had one night time ago. It was like, without sports, this would be disturbing. When they had basically a Yankees fan, I think it was a Yankees wife making out with a Red Sox husband, and it's something like that. Here's my take with it when it comes to Seattle. I think Seattle's going to be that front runner, and I feel like if they have to move them from basically from where they play to a different venue, you got two stadiums that can host them. You got two stadiums. You have to look at it from that big standpoint. But the fact that you actually went into an NFL enriched region like Seattle, and you managed to put enough noise to get people to actually come to these games and give a rat's
Mhm.
ass, because there are people in Seattle that love football like there's no tomorrow. So
Mhm.
putting the Sea Dragons back in there, we use that rivalry with basically St. Louis and Seattle because it goes right on back to basically the Rams and the Seahawks. It also goes
Mhm.
Mariners and the Cardinals, and the Mariners it goes for the Kraken and the Blues. So you
Mhm.
got that option. Put it in Columbus. Columbus, I'm good with. Raleigh, hasn't Raleigh suffered enough? I always say this because of the
Mhm.
Carolina Panthers that everybody else would sit here and say too. Why would you put these guys? Why would you put a team in Raleigh knowing full well for a fact that Ric Flair ain't got much time left? And Charlotte Flair ain't really gonna be about that life. So let's put this as nicely as we can on this one. You talk about Columbus. Columbus, I could see. I could see Columbus because that would be a good rivalry. Columbus versus Michigan. I like that. I like that rivalry. What the hell is Raleigh gonna do? What the shit is Raleigh going to do in that
Mhm.
time frame where they gotta you gotta try to build up this one? They already don't like the owner of the Panthers now. Why the hell you go sit here and put another team there? That team's not gonna be able to win. That's the biggest cracker of
Mhm.
it. Is that you
Mhm.
gotta have somebody, you gotta have somebody who's gonna win and win now, because if there's a team, there's a city that's starving for something positive. Cleveland, Raleigh, hell, even Denver. Because last time I checked, as good as the Broncos were, and yes, congrats to the Broncos for making the playoffs and all, but let's be realistic here. The Nuggets are kind of basically going through some weird, crazy little roller coaster
Mhm.
spiral. The Avs are going through a roller coaster spiral. The Rockies are the Rockies. And anybody from
I
knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I know the Rockies firsthand. They were in Philadelphia the last 3 games.
So you know what I'm saying. So I'm looking at this from this standpoint. And just to be clear, Mark Cass, thank you so much for that one. I appreciate it. I appreciate your big support on this one. I'm trying my hardest to sit here and try and make time so that way we can be able to sit down and talk that talk when it comes to basically UFL, because you did a great podcast a few days ago. If you haven't seen the Markcast, like them, subscribe them, follow them. Those guys are the ish. That's that crew in Seattle. And eventually, Bleacher Brothers and Markcast are going to do something big. In fact, Bleacher Brothers, Markcast, and No Filter will most likely be doing something
Mhm.
big, because we kind of are about that life. And I'm kind of all about stirring that pot a little bit just to help
Mhm.
everybody else out. But I liked I want to see Philly. Hell, if you're gonna give Cleveland something to smile about, the fact that they're sitting already fighting about their new stadium being built in the suburbs, put a team in there. Columbus can probably do it, but it's a matter of you already got the Blue Jackets, and you got the Buckeyes, obviously, and they got to defend their crown in a few months. But is that going to be enough for those fans in Columbus? I say no. I say Columbus will probably get a little bit of a jump, but I feel like it's between Philly and Schittsburg. As much as they don't want to say, because they didn't even mention Seattle in that article, and they didn't mention Philly or Schittsburg in that article. I feel like they already have their pick. They're kind of basically gauging it, and they know for a fact they are looking back from a few years ago when people didn't buy into the Dragons when they started, but they damn sure bought into those Dragons when XFL 2.0 Part 2, the sequel came back out, and that I say, like, if you basically are going to talk about expansion, if you don't have Seattle in the front in the front of that line, you obviously are doomed to fail, because as much as they like that team behind me, they have embraced the Dragons. And you could actually blame the quarterback for that. You can blame that damn quarterback. You can blame that damn quarterback from Seattle for basically making it that way. You can blame it for the fact that basically a couple of big NFL guys who got shrugged off to the side came into Seattle and made them big. Some familiar names like Josh Gordon. That's the biggest deal. That's what I look at when I'm looking at this whole situation. If the UFL is going to do the expansion, you have to have a team that is going to actually be able to mesh with their current setup. And you gotta go with the fan base. The fan base is actually picking up more than people expected. And the very fact that they were able to do the entire week 1 without Dwayne Johnson anywhere in the equation and be successful should speak volumes, especially with the NCAA tournament, because we have the Final Four coming up this weekend. For both the men's and the women. We have that coming. That's going to be a big test. They're going to have the whole spotlight on Monday, but people are going to be stuck on that one. I'm going to be personally stuck on that one because I'm a big Gators guy, and I'm looking forward to that mess. And I'm pissed about the fact that I have to work during that game, but I'm a put that right
shit,
here.
I'm going to be streaming on Monday night.
That's the biggest thing.
Well,
And
my buddy Mike and I'll move the TV over because I have a second TV here in the dining room.
Yeah.
I'll move it over so we can both watch the game at the same time and do our normal thing that we do.
Yeah, when that happens, you better send me a damn link, because I'm off Monday and I kind of want to play with that one, especially if my boys make it to the national championship game, the game that pretty much everybody's thinking they're going to see, which is Florida versus Duke, or in most cases, Houston versus Duke, or basically either one of them, or even for that matter, Auburn.
You don't want to see my picks that I made for tonight.
Okay, because of the fact we have the women's Final Four coming up tomorrow. This is how we go in the show. If you're looking down at the bottom of the bottom, folks, the UFL's list of collision is right down there. We put Birmingham at number 8 because they're defending champs. They sucked. Houston at number 7. We put San Antonio at number 6 because they're defending conference champs and they sucked. Memphis at 5. DC 4. Michigan 3. Arlington 2. St. Louis at number 1. Take it, run it, acknowledge it. You want to sit here, you want to do these little Final Four picks, don't you? Because you don't have a show tomorrow, and I kind of want to pick. I kind of want to poke the bear a little bit tomorrow, or do you want to wait till tomorrow? Because honestly, yeah, we're gonna have a bunch of wrestling stuff, but we kind of like it. We know what the weekend's about. We know. So I will give you the choice. We can sit here. We could close out the show tonight, and then move right into Fridays, slamming. I'm sorry.
Well, I gave out 3 picks tonight.
Oh,
I even gave out a soccer match this week as well. I split on my soccer bets last week. I
Okay.
I lost with the Union. They lost at Miami. Miami is we have a partnership with Inter Miami, which
Oh
and
no.
then and then because one of my friends that came in late towards the end of the show, and I was doing this segment, I was like, just for shits and giggles, let's take the Portland Timbers. Portland Timbers won, the Union lost, and then I went 1-1 on my college pick. So I lost like this much if I had bet them.
I can't even embrace the Timbers right now, only because of the fact that I actually have an ex that is a big monster Timbers fan. I'm almost certain she was probably at that game, just rubbing it in my face like there's no day tomorrow. I hate her, but I like her at the same time. She's my sweetheart, and all that good stuff. But here's the biggest thing when it comes to it. I'm hearing a lot of this, that, and the other. So so you know what? I'm gonna do I'm gonna I'm gonna do you a solid because of the fact that we had April Fool's Day a few days ago. And I didn't and originally this show was set for last night, but I wanted to at least sit here at that point where I'm like, you know what? It's I'm not gonna do a pregame like we did for last week because I'm gonna be basically doing the smashing, stacking, and crap and clapping show. But I'm kind of figuring in my head we got women's Final Four tomorrow. We got the men's Final Four on Saturday. We'll do. How about this? We'll do the women's Final Four tonight, and we will do the men's Final Four tomorrow, just for the sake of argument, just for shits and grins.
Okay.
So,
and just to let you know,
mhm.
I am like, well, considering my men's bracket, my women's bracket, I'm at 87.6 percentile. And I have a chance of winning at least one of these groups. But I need UCLA to lose to UConn. And I got South Carolina winning it. So my picks for the women tomorrow night, let's go UConn and let's go South Carolina. Revenge game.
I'm actually pulling it up right now just to see exactly what we got here. Because I want to be able to make sure I do this one right. And the fact is that I like this one. And I'm actually going to go. I'm going to pick one upset because I think I've actually picked an
Yeah.
upset in the women's section. But I think I need to now. I'm actually going to go South Carolina and UCLA.
Okay.
I'm gonna go UCLA. It's like I can't pick against South Carolina because that woman is a goddess without question. Dawn Staley
Mhm.
is a mad genius,
You know where
and she's proven it.
you know where she grew up, right?
Where?
Philadelphia.
Son of a bitch. You realize how bad this would be? You got that the Eagles win a Super Bowl. Chance you guys may end up winning an expansion team in the UFL, and then Dawn Staley wins the national championship. Come on, Philly, give us something, assholes.
Well, we did give back when it came to the NCAA men's tournament because we have not had a Philly school, and there's 6 Division I schools in the city of Philadelphia. Well, Villanova is actually in the suburbs, but they're considered a city school. 3 straight years that those 6 schools did
Philly
not
has a
make the
suburb.
Yeah.
I thought it was just basically all, hey, blame Rocky. It's Rocky's fault.
Well,
It's Rocky's fault.
Well, let me tell you something. When I go walking around, like for example, the one time pre-pandemic, I was walking around in Vegas. I was cutting through the Link Casino, and this girl goes, "Yeah, you want to sign up for our app?" I was like, "No, I can't use it I can't use it outside of Vegas." Okay, well, oh, by the way, I'm from Philly. I said, "Yeah, where from?" I'm thinking maybe a section within Philadelphia. She goes, Doylestown, which is Bucks County, Pennsylvania, which is like 15, 20 miles outside the city.
Well, shit. That's all I'm gonna say about it, folks. So, if we got this right, JQ is going. The hardest working man in entertainment is going South Carolina and UConn in a rematch.
Mm-hmm.
The loudest one in entertainment. Yeah, I am that guy. I'll open to that. I acknowledge me on that one. Is going to go South Carolina and UCLA. So it's just gonna be a question of when Friday is over and I wake up Saturday morning, am I gonna feel a little cocky? Maybe, but we'll find out tomorrow night. As of course,
Mm-hmm.
I am gonna be all about that mess, folks, and a lot of stuff has already happened. Yes, WWE did some things, TNA did some things, AEW did some things, ROH, I believe, did some damn things. But it's gonna be all about not just the women's Final Four, but the men's Final Four on Saturday. Also, the second game of Friday night UFL is tomorrow night at the same time. So the big question's gonna be: can they survive? This is going to be that week to get ready for it. Plus, we got baseball going up, and apparently the
Mm-hmm.
Dodgers are trying to make history, even though it won't mean shit because they ain't winning another
Mm-hmm.
crap. But I digress.
Well, the Dodgers will lose to the Phillies tomorrow night.
They better, for their sake, better lose to
If
the damn Phillies because
if
quite
it
frankly,
doesn't
I
if
can't
it
take these
doesn't
guys anymore.
if it doesn't get rained out.
Well, hopefully it doesn't get rained out. I guess that's the better way I can put it. Like, bruh, give me something to believe in because the Dodgers being this good makes me think
Mm-hmm.
more about the West than it does about the entire Major League Baseball. Oh, and for those who are kind of waiting for my response to Stephen A. Smith and his bullshit, we got a long night ahead of us. Friday night, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be awesome. Maybe he'll be here. Maybe he won't. We go have some fun. We go see what happens because we do have ourselves a busy
Yeah.
week. We got UFL. We got UFL and the women's Final Four tomorrow. We got UFL and the men's Final Four on Saturday. And plus, we got UFL on Sunday. Plus, we got NBA. We got baseball. We got hockey. And big
And
goes out to my boys, the St. Louis Blues, for a big overtime win over those Pittsburgh Penguins tonight, 5-4.
and
Don't.
on top of all that, I got horse racing this weekend. We had a little bit of a change in the schedule. Keeneland in Kentucky, they're getting hit with historic rains. I hear the horses at Keeneland Racetrack, they're lining up 2 by 2 to go into Noah's Ark. But they
Now, are there going to be virgins on that on Noah's on this version of Noah's Ark, or did just go just take the cousins?
I think they're just taking the horses.
I mean, it's Kentucky, so
Yeah, I know. But what I'm doing is I'm going to have a show on Saturday.
Go ahead, go ahead. Come on, do the plug. You're good.
Saturday, we'll be looking at some of the final Kentucky Derby prep races from Aqueduct and Santa Anita. Aqueduct is outside of New York City in Queens. Santa Anita outside of LA. Then on Tuesday morning, I'm going to do a special show on Tuesday looking at those races from Keeneland because the rain will be gone by then. So I'm going to be, I got a doubleheader on Tuesday, a day-night doubleheader.
So, in other words, it's going to be a lot of fun.
And hopefully I'll be making some money for you guys.
So, translation, folks, if you haven't figured out by now, we about that life. And we always want that smoke. And while my OG colleague, my brother from another mother, Rockin' Reese, has been a little bit busy with basically, just that word, working shit, he's not the only one. Trust me, I understand it. But we're hoping to have Rocket Reese back sometime next week. I know that we're kind of trying to just run with it, but I'm kind of figuring in my head we'll probably have him back for hockey playoffs and NBA playoffs. So we'll see if we can get like a show together and all that good stuff. And of course, the illustrious Don Juan, who I'm hoping things are well with him because, I I was hoping to talk to him about Geno Smith signing that big ass extension that he got
Yeah.
earlier today, but apparently Don Juan has to continue being that smooth operator. And of
Mhm.
course, Mrs. Don Juan, Miss Don Juan, love you to death. Keep that man in check. Keep that freak on a leash, if nothing else. I think we've covered pretty much everything that we can pretty much do up for it. Again, folks, just for the sake of argument, just in case you guys are trying to wonder and figure out and try to wrap your heads around what the schedule is going to look like as far as everything goes. This Friday, we will be having the Defenders. No. I'm sorry. Not the Defenders. No. The Defenders actually won't be playing on Friday. But the Stallions will be. The Stallions look to basically even themselves out in a game apiece, as they will be looking to go 1-1 when they go and host the Panthers, who look a little more bloodthirsty than normal. The Defenders, on the other hand, actually will be playing on Saturday during the Final Four, as they will be hosting the Memphis Showboats. Somebody's gonna whoop that trick in that game. I don't know who it's gonna be, but we gonna find the hell out. Also, on Sunday, we got yet another doubleheader, as it's another battle of Texas, as the Houston Roughnecks will tangle up with the Arlington Renegades, who look a little nastier than normal. And we're not talking Tozawa style nasty. We're talking Tozawa nasty and the umpteenth power. And then, of course, we have the big one, the rematch of the XFL Conference Championship game. The San Antonio Brahmas will return to St. Louis for the first time since that big conference championship win, and they will take on those Battlehawks. The lines look good. The lines look crazy. And while they are trying to look smart, they go have a little bit of a problem. So we got UFL action. And of course, we got, I believe we have ourselves some little NCAA action on top of this. So to say the least, we going to have some fun this weekend. A lot this weekend. Because of course, Saturday, we'll have Florida taking on Alabama. Houston taking on Duke. We gonna have ourselves some fun. We gonna have ourselves some shenanigans. We gonna bring it all to you. And just remember, it's only the first round. We're just getting warmed up. So, on behalf of, well, I guess we're gonna call you the Joe Pretty Fly for a White Guy Quills. It's basically the white version of Rocket Race, folks. And I have not been drinking that much tonight. That's how crazy it is. On behalf of you know what? You are officially the new White Boy Rick. You White Boy Joe. I'll keep doing this. On behalf of White Boy Rick, aka Joe Quills, the hardest working man in sports. This has been the OG, the original Captain El Capitan, Capitez Ford, the Captain Ron Johnson. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Bleacher Brothers Sports Streaming Network. We will be back to you guys tomorrow night with a little bit of smashing, stacking, and clapping with the captain. We might have Rocket Reese. We might have Rocket Reese's stunt double. We might even have the smooth operator himself, Don Juan. We might have everybody coming up to join us. But all of you, thanks so much for joining us. Again, if you have not seen the Markcast, join the Markcast. Those are some good people. They get some good work. And quite frankly, they bribe me very well no, I'm just kidding. They don't bribe me. Hell, I sit here and just honor and acknowledge them for free, just for the fuck of it. So, goodbye, good night, and please tip your waitresses on the way out the door and ask yourselves a simple question. How's your beaver?
Okay, girls, everyone knows a beaver's favorite food is wood. I just hope we brought along enough of it for our 3-day galactic space journey. So let's do the math. If Robin's beaver devours 6 inches of wood every half hour, and Jessica's beaver devours 8 inches of wood every 45 minutes, how much wood will I need to keep both of these beavers well fed?
Joe, you know you want to laugh your ass off right now. You know you want to laugh your ass off.
I'm your huckleberry.
Oh!
Why, Johnny Ringo, like somebody just...
Before we actually leave tonight, I might bring myself back on camera for this one. We did lose a legend. We lost a great legend. And in honor of that legend, that is why you're seeing a more modified version of the Aftermath intro. We lost one of the Batman. We lost one of the Batman. We lost the Iceman. We lost a true legend in this sports. And what better way to basically start discussing Top Gun 3 than with the fall of the Iceman in reality? Val Kilmer, probably the only guy you could pick to actually play something as crazy as Jim Morrison and Doc Holliday. It's worth the price of admission. So, Val, I hope we did you justice tonight. Rest in peace to Val Kilmer. There will be no other.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. Yeah, seeing that just made me have to think about that. But yeah, we done. Okay, we done. I'm out. We gone. Have yourselves a good night, folks. We'll see you guys tomorrow night.
Good night, everybody.
Walked over your grave.
Fight's not with you, Holiday.
I beg to differ, sir. We started the game we never got to finish. Play for blood, remember?
I was just fooling about.
I wasn't, and this time it's legal.
All right, Lunger. Let's do it. Say when.
Come on! You're no Daisy. You're no Daisy at all.
Poor soul. You were just too high-strung.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Dre, you ready? Come on. All right. Check. Cut him undercover. Timeless. Ready for him. Progress. Feeling like I'm just getting started. 2 shots back from my dearly departed. You are now dealing with a monster. Oh shit. Profits. Doctrine, bitch, I'm a prophet. Black Wall Street, niggas know where the stock is.
Like a satanic cult, it's an old ritual slaughtering goats, bitch. You're fucking with the original flow, sick, and anybody can get it. COVID. Fucking with that, I don't roll shit that was so sharp I can slip my own fucking throat with it. So bitch, I got more chips than my shoulders, and I'm about as approachable as a roach is. Just so let us steer clear from him. Here comes a nuclear bomb for your eardrums. Lyricism in its most fearsome and fears we're on another tier like the tear ducts. Upper echelon, your career sucking. It was sheer luck, like a fucking leprechaun with his beard cut. Got a Punisher, weapon drawn with a beer gut. He's slower than a Decepticon with his gear stuck. Like what? I serial killing your Kellogg's. I love checks and I hate tricks. And you're a fake bitch. I can spot you like you about to weight lift. Bitch, I'm better than cake mix. And I can't be whipped with egg beaters. You cunts must be out of your labius. And God's my alias. So if I don't have faith in me, then it basically makes me an atheist.